Anyone here still? Did you guys even notice that I left for a few minutes? Which one are you saying yes to? Are you answering Maverick's question to marry you?
You are
Matthew,
yeah.
thank you for liking. Oh crap, I teleported. It sucks. 2 lives just like that, man. Three lives just like that. That's a rough level. He wants to become a Canadian pretty bad, you know. Well, that was so close. It was right on the nose of my triangle here. Look how good I'm doing here, eh? It's incredible. I think this is my world record. I'm usually terrible at this game. Good at Astro Smash. I was an Astro Smash champion at one point, you know. But not asteroids. I hear the beeping. I don't know where the UFO is, though. Oh, they got me. Can I make 50,000? Hopefully, you'll see, I guess, eh? Not when it puts me right in front of the rocks. Nope, no 50,000. Sorry, domination. 80% share of the home video game market. It accounted for 1/3 of Warner's earnings. Pulling in over $1 billion in revenue, Warner success during that period is widely credited to the explosion of home video games. You know, and just think Warner's struggling now, man. Super Breakout, Haunted House. Look at these insane graphics. X for the torch. Are you scared of this game? Is it over here? A bag of money. There's a ghost. Hey, Joshua. Maverick proposed to Stephanie and she accepted. So Stephanie's gonna have to name herself
You are our
Stephanie Maverick. And then she's gotta move him into Canada. His name is Ernie. I bet you if we ask Maverick, he'll say yeah. This is like that Phantom Gorzia Edition 1 or something, eh? Stop that. He did not say that for him to marry him. You said yes to something. It was that, I think. The eye sees. I didn't ask you that. That was Maverick. No. No one said anything. I thought I was being sneaky because I was gone for like 8 zillion hours. Like here's an arcade game. I bet you wish you could watch it with Maverick. Okay, this game is kind of just repetitive, so I'm gonna go on to the next one. Imagine paying like $40 for that game. Get that one signed. Yours making of a high-tech ad.
You'll need some protection. Ion zone. Shift chroma. Intensify. Okay, now you'll need some weapons. You have a formidable enemy. The coat tile. Watch it, Yar. He has a lethal drone. And some other tricks up his sleeve. Spiral. Go. Good move, Yar. Now I have a surprise for you. A Zorlon cannon. Use it, Yar. Fire again. Got him. That's revenge. Yar's revenge. A video game. Yeah, this can be fun. This can be a lot of fun. Like asteroids. Get him. Do it. Beautiful. Watch it. Disintegrate. Now let's go into deeper space. Galactic map. Sector 11. Hyperspace. Sights in. Cylon warships. Attack. Steady. Stand by. Photons. Star Raiders. That's it. Star Raiders. That'll keep them on their toes. Let's see what we can come up with next.
We're Atari. We have the vision, and we invented the technology to bring the excitement home to you.
That was a cool commercial. What'd you vote for, Joshua? Nobody know what I was talking about there.
One of the product managers came by who was responsible for this product, and he goes, "Hey, well, we're working on naming your game." And I said, can I make a submission? Can I submit a name? And he goes, "Sure, why not?" I said, "Okay, I tell you what, come by here tomorrow morning." I said, "You guys won't have it settled by tomorrow, will you?" He goes, "No." I said, "Come by tomorrow morning, I will have something for you. I will have a submission for you." So now I know what I'm doing for the rest of the evening. And I don't know if you ever tried it before. When you just try to make up a new word, everything sounds stupid. At least it does for me. I can't come up with something that sounds cool. Everything sounds kind of dumb. So being the algorithmic thinker that I can be at times, I thought, well, if I can't just spontaneously come up with some name, I should come up with a way to derive the name. I'll come up with an algorithm. It's a simple title. What's going on? Maybe I need an action thing. You know, because it's an action game, I need an action word. I don't know the name of the character, but I thought, you know, revenge. Revenge is a great action word because everybody wants revenge, right? So I figure I'll go with revenge, and now all I need is whose revenge is it? Now I just need the name of the character. And then I thought, well, one of the great ciphers is, you know, writing something backwards. That's never a bad idea. You know, the head of the company's name is Ray Kazar. And Ray spelled backwards, that's Yar. And Yar sounds pretty cool. It's got a Y in it, so it's got like sci-fi, anything with Y's and Z's, you know, and maybe an X somewhere. That's good sci-fi stuff. And I sat down and I wrote a 10-page story called The Yarian Revenge of Razak 4.
Ignacio, thank you for coming, follower. Welcome to Star Base.
The game, The Yarian Revenge of Razak 4. I was done like 3:30. I just laid down on the floor in my office and got a little sleep. And then around 10, you know, in comes the marketing manager. And so I handed him the package. I go, here you go. This is the package for the story. I didn't realize it fully at the time, but what I had done was I had created the first backstory in the history of video games.
First backstory in a video game. Yarian's Revenge.
So I looked over this game. It was Star Castle. I played it a bunch. I thought about it on the VCS. I looked it over and I realized, holy crap, this is going to suck. This is going to absolutely suck. And I could not afford to have my first project suck. did a little preparation, and then I marched myself into Dennis Cobal's office, and I said, look, instead of doing this, I'd like to do this. This is something that I think uses some of the basic game ideas, but I think this is something that would work on the system. This other one won't work. And I just made this little presentation to him. And to his credit, he said, okay, you know what, go for it. The first thing I put up on the screen was an animated character. Most people use a block because they want to start working out their game mechanics and stuff like that. I put up an animation. That was the first thing I put up on a screen. And people would go by and they go, wow, that looks cool. What does it do? I'd be like, nothing. You know, that's what it does. There it is. I said, I'm still working on it. Don't worry. It's like, and then it got to the point where it was time to actually play it and have some of this stuff. So I had achieved my goal of trying to make something interesting, and it sucked as a game. And I was exactly caught in the place I didn't want to be. So what I did was I started taking feedback, which was extremely painful to hear people telling me how much my game sucked. The only thing that really made it tolerable was that I wasn't so self-deluded at that point that I didn't realize it sucked also. Until I worked out making some of the changes and getting it through, I was in very bad shape. And I was feeling some very negative feedback from some other people. And I was feeling, you know, I'm usually the person who's hardest on myself. And that was a tough time for me. And I had to get through that before I could hear what people were saying and start to work on it. And I had to release myself from, but I have to have this, but I have to have this. You know, as a therapist, I always catch people when they say I have to. I always love, people say, you know, I have to, but I have to do this. And I always stop and I say, look, you don't have to. Obviously you don't have to because you're not doing it, right? You don't have to, but you could.
You don't have to.
There's probably a reason you're not. And the reason I'm able to give that lesson to my clients now is because I had to get over that. I had this have to that was making things not work. And until I could let that go, I couldn't make the game succeed. And when I did, it forced me to think in new ways, to think outside the box, and to go come up with some other left field solution. And when I made those changes, then suddenly yours was really good.
Yours truly. That's him back in the day, I guess. Look at those abs, eh? Maverick would be impressed. Oh, here we go. What goes up must come down. Didn't know about the game consoles back then. Competition, I got one of those. Well, it wasn't mine at the time, it was one of my brother's. First console war. Game you could pre-order. Let's see what it's like. Oh crap. Still raining there. Playing your game. Look, I got 159 points. Oh, I got nailed. Look at the cover art back then, eh? You know, back in the day, they had to sell these games because they looked terrible, so they had to sell them by making a cool cover. I bought a lot of games back in the day because of the artwork, thinking that it'd be a good game. $25,000.
So Adventure was a really popular product, and we were kind of, there was some vibe around maybe a sequel to Adventure. And somewhere in there, I got the idea of doing a series of games that were contests with comic books with real prizes made by Franklin Mint. We were part of Warner Communications, and somewhere along there, we had started to be doing bits of comic books with the games, and because Warner Communications owned DC Comics. Warner Communications.
I didn't know they owned DC Comics.
Anyone else was paying attention. Also owned Franklin Mint, right? Franklin Mint being.
Man, they own everything.
I don't know, you know, they made plates and little figurines and stuff, I know, and medallions, and not my scene, but you know that.
I guess it makes sense that they own.
It's hard to talk about.
Warner owns DC though, because I think Injustice and Mortal Kombat are under Warner.
A lot of it was, I consider myself to basically
I
be
think.
the showrunner of Sword Quest. The concept was mine, the literary concept, the material. So the games are actually moderately literate and erudite, right? The whole story is put together as a lot like a Grail quest or something in Joseph Campbell. It would be a hero's journey, a spiritual evolution, a life. It's a story of a life, of a energetic, a magical life, right, through these mystical systems. So I pulled a lot of...
These guys are all like 70 now, probably, if they're still alive, because they would have been in their early 20s, I think.
Sold the idea, and it went over big.
When Atari was, when they were working for Atari.
Brave. It was ambitious, it was audacious, and it had a certain je ne sais quoi, but I don't know what it is. You know, I'll back up a little bit. There was kind of a bizarre effort to do a combination of Twitch and adventure game, to merge and to create an action adventure. I think Howard tried this in Raiders, right, where he tried to make an adventure game that was built into an action game and merge the two. So I consider Howard and I to be some of the pioneers of action adventure. Got to say this in a certain way. So you'd play this action game and maybe get a clue, a prize that you'd add to your inventory. And if you had that in your inventory, then you could unlock, then you'd be on this map. You wouldn't necessarily see the map, but you'd be inside a maze, and a door would open in the maze, and there'd be another action game there. And so it was kind of like a first-person adventure with action elements. That was basically, and you know, I got looking back at it when I say it that way and knowing what was in the Times, it was very audacious. And it was actually very creative. It was really, you know, it was really cool.
It was cool. It looks like cool. Here's the official Atari handshake. That's how you identified fellow Atari players, apparently. I never even knew about that. I had a 5200 recently. I sold it because I couldn't be bothered to get it working.